is a huge trade that probably should have never happened. And now that it has happened, it probably should have been bigger. But it's still a huge trade. The Buffalo Sabres trade JJ Peterka to the Utah Mammoth, which is something I'm gonna have to get used to, in exchange for big old defenseman Michael Kesselring, forward Josh Doan, and that's it. There were no picks at all, no prospects. This is a trade with 3 fully fledged NHL players. Now, any Buffalo Sabres fan who is watching this right now, listen, this is going to be a long video for you, but I promise I actually have some positive thoughts about the Sabres. But I'm going to get all the bad stuff out of the way first. First and foremost, why should you care about JJ Peterka? Why is this such a big deal? Because JJ Peterka has been one of the most underrated young offensive talents in the NHL for a couple seasons now. The Sabres drafted him 34th overall. That's technically a second round pick, but it's like a late first rounder in 2020. If you love watching the World Juniors, you knew this guy was going to be a killer. There was one year where Team Germany had nothing going. Nothing. It was the Tim Stützle show. It was incredible that he was keeping them in games. But the longer you watch, the more you're like, what about this JJ Peterka kid? 4 goals, 6 points in 7 games for Germany in 2020, and then 4 goals, 6 assists for 10 points in 5 games for Germany the next year. Okay, this kid might have it. The year after he's drafted, and remember the world is still in this weird COVID haze, and a lot of guys played for more than one team and more than one league, he had 16 points in 12 games in Austria. And he's in the German league, which is a good league, and puts up 20 points in 30 games. This is a professional men's league, and this guy is barely a man. In 21-22, he comes to North America. He plays 2 games with the Sabres, but that's 2 games. What is notable is his time in Rochester. 28 goals, 40 assists, 68 points in 70 AHL games is absurd for an AHL rookie his age. Followed by another 7 goals, 12 points in 10 Calder Cup playoff games. Kid's sick! First season with the Sabres, 77 games played, 32 points, puts up 12 goals. It's not mind-blowing, but that's solid for a rookie on a not very good team, let's be honest. The next year, his sophomore year, full 82 games. 28 goals, 50 points. The following season, this past season, the kid's still only 23, he played 77 games. 27 goals, 68 points. Saying that JJ Peterka is a future 30 goal scorer is not out of the realm of possibility at all. He's almost done it twice. If he doesn't miss 5 games last season, he might have actually done it. There are some concerning charts out there about his defensive play, but I'm generally very skeptical of this stuff and not skeptical of analytics as a whole. What I am skeptical of is the numbers for bottom 5 teams and top 5 teams. How many times have we seen a player with awful numbers on like the Ducks of the past few seasons, and we're like, why would a team do this? Then that player goes on to not the Ducks, and they're fine. Case in point, how many former Buffalo Sabres have won a cup with the Florida Panthers over the last couple years? Now, I'm not saying numbers indicated that those players sucked in Buffalo, but I am saying. Anyway, we'll get to the state of the Buffalo Sabres and what all that means. First of all, he's an RFA, JJ Peterka. Or, well, he was. And there were rumors that the Buffalo Sabres were going to trade him. Rumors that he didn't exactly like it with the Sabres. Now, JJ Peterka is represented by Alan Walsh, who has a show on this network called Agent Provocateur. It is very good, and you should listen to it. There's a new episode coming out. Wonder what they're going to talk about. Despite all that, I have been advocating for the Buffalo Sabres to not trade this player. You're a restricted free agent. What you can do is limited. You don't have a whole lot of say. JJ Peterka goes, trade me, and the Buffalo Sabres can just go, no. And a team can come in and offer sheet Peterka, and the Sabres can match the offer sheet. And guess what? Now you have a contract with us. Stay here forever, stupid. Or Peterka could choose the nuclear option, which is, I'm not going to sign with you at all. I'm just going to sit. And the Buffalo Sabres, I would advise to choose the nuclear option. Fine, then sit. Well, Steve, they can't just. Yes, they can just. Well, they're losing 30 goals from their lineup. Oh no, what are they going to be? Bad? For weeks and months, it has been rumored that JJ Peterka wants out of Buffalo, and for weeks and months, I've been saying, don't do it. This is a really good young hockey player. What are you doing? And when asked about it, hilariously, Kevin Adams was like, no, I don't. Go watch this ridiculous answer. This ridiculous answer that we made fun of on the podcast.
He was asked about JJ Peterka and possibly moving JJ Peterka by the members of the media there in Buffalo. He gave an answer that was long-winded about how the draft's coming up this week and we're always trying to improve our team and that's fun stuff. And then somebody very smartly in the audience said, so that wasn't a no. And here is the beginning of that question where someone's like, so that isn't a no. And then Kevin Adams' follow-up where he says that he feels bad for the fans of Buffalo, that they have to follow this team.
Through all that, that's not no.
That's gotta be Mike Harrington.
I don't want to say yes or no because I just don't think it's the right time. And I can probably after the draft get, and when we have other conversations, get into more specifics on things. But I just don't think it's fair to the player, to be honest with you, to really even respond to that. I think it's just better to keep it to the fact that we have a plan. We're working towards helping our team get better. We're willing to do whatever it takes to get better. And I don't know, like I get memos on my desk every morning from PR of things. And I feel, if I'm being honest, like I feel bad for our fans. The stuff that's out there, there's so much misinformation. So much of it's nonsense. I mean, someone that has no idea what they're talking about reporting that we were going to buy Sammy out. We've never had that conversation once. Like, it's ridiculous. So
keep going, man.
I don't even think it's worth me really getting into it. But no? I guess I just leave it at that.
If there's a way for Kevin Adams to do his job without talking, they gotta do that.
Yo, that's why he feels bad for the fans? That's why you feel bad for the fans, Kevin. It's the misinformation from the reporters is why you feel bad for Sabres fans.
This quote,
he's the worst at his job in the entire league. He's 32 of 32 of ranking GMs.
This quote, the palm trees thing, he's doing, I know what he's doing here. He's doing his damnedest to be like, come on, guys, it's us against the world, right? And Sabres fan time and time again go, no, there's no us.
No.
Fuck you.
It's us. We're alone here and you're fucking things up.
Yeah, we're alone. We don't like you. Win. There's one way to get it. You're not going to talk your way into them liking you.
Yeah.
You just got to win. That's it.
The most interesting thing about this, I think, is he dispelled the Matthias Samuelsson rumors. So there was rumors last week, that they were going to buy out Samuelsson. And he's like, no, those are crazy rumors. But the rumor he's asked about, he refuses to dispel. So in front of the microphone, you're willing to do one for one rumor, but the other one. Maybe the rumor they're talking about is true because he won't dispel it.
He confirms it because but it's almost like he's going, okay, so that one's true, but let me give you an example of one that isn't.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, so I'm pretty sure after hearing that, Peterka's getting traded.
Also, you feel bad for the fans as a result of things that are your fault. The reason there's all these rumors around the fucking Sabres is because you're not good at your job and all these rumors are coming out because of the guys you want to move.
Here's like Sabres fans walking out of their 7th consecutive 7-1 loss. Oh, fucking media.
No, I feel bad for our fans. The misinformation trades them less than 48 hours later. Kevin Adams, perfect. No notes. Love this guy. Hope he stays the GM in my division forever. So Peterka gets traded and signs an extension, 5 years, $7.7 million per season. Now, this is where Alan does some tidy work. First and foremost, JJ Peterka gets a cap hit that is his jersey number, 7.7. He wears 77. Second, it's 5 years, which means Peterka could light it up for the next half decade. And guess what? When he's 28, smack dab in the middle of his prime, he's an unrestricted free agent, and the cap will be higher, and he'll be a UFA instead of an RFA, and rich. Let's just say rich. That is the kind of player that Utah is getting. They are getting a 23-year-old, doesn't even turn 24 until January, who has already shown 30-goal potential. He scored 28 goals, 27 goals. This is a goal scorer. Imagine him with Clayton Keller. Holy cow. Imagine him with Logan Cooley. Holy cow, who he is older than, despite still only being 23. Utah has some real good reasons to watch. Now, what do the Buffalo Sabres get? Michael Kesselring and Josh Doan. I'll be the first to say that's horrible value for JJ Peterka. I think that's awful. Now they get 2 young players, and that is good. You get Josh Doan, who's 23, Michael Kesselring, who's 25. So it's not like you're not getting futures at all. And at some point, the Buffalo Sabres need to stop acquiring picks and actually get players that'll make their NHL team better now. You gotta stop looking at the Buffalo Sabres like a rebuilding team and start looking at them like, okay, win something, anything, ever. I think this trade is bad value for JJ Peterka, but there's a chance this trade could add up to something that ends up making the Sabres better immediately. Let me go through it. Josh Doan, son of Shane Doan, longtime Coyotes great, was drafted by the Coyotes, and isn't that so lovely, and what a great story, and he did so good right at the beginning of his career, and then the Coyotes packed up and left. He's no longer playing for his hometown team. He's no longer playing in his hometown. But this kid, like Peterka, had great AHL numbers. In his first full season in the 22-23 season, he had 26 goals, 46 points in 62 games in the A. That's really good. In his first 11 NHL games, 9 points, 5 of which are goals. Heck yes. This past season, a little finicky. And I say finicky because he split it between the NHL and the AHL. Personally, I think he was good enough to be in the NHL the entire time. In the AHL, in 28 games, he had 11 goals and 26 points. Again, this is a really young kid. The AHL is not an easy league to score in. When he came up to the Mammoth, or were they what were they last year? Utah! They were just Utah. When he came up to the HC, I judge you if you think that was cool. I hate it. Anyway, in 51 games, he had just 7 goals and 19 points. Not mind-blowing, obviously. He's big, but he's on the smaller side of big. He's 6'2", 198 pounds. There's room to grow. I think his NHL potential in terms of scoring is probably higher than what this past season showed in the NHL. If he gets more opportunity in Buffalo, I bet he can light the lamp. But is he going to be JJ Peterka? I mean, even if Josh Doan improves in Buffalo, he's got a long way to go to become JJ Peterka, and Peterka might get better too. But I think too many people are looking at this like it's the JJ Peterka for Josh Doan trade. It's not. It is Josh Doan and Michael Kesselring, who is a really underrated piece in all this. Michael Kesselring, I was surprised to just find out, was drafted by the Edmonton Oilers in 2018. He was a 6th-round pick. They traded him in a trade for Nick Bjugstad. Probably should have kept this one there, fellas. Here are all the boxes he ticks before you even look at a single stat or piece of footage of his. Defenseman, okay. Right-handed, okay. 6'5", okay. 215 pounds. Beef! Teams are drafting that without even looking at the guy, meeting the guy, nothing. Slowly chipped away, played in the AHL, had a couple call-ups, played in the AHL again. Last season was his first full season in the NHL, and it was a full season, 82 games. And honestly, pretty impressive. 7 goals, 22 assists, 29 points from the back end. That's better than a kick in the teeth. And it addresses a bad need for the Buffalo Sabres because right now they're trying to offload defenders. They have Rasmus Dahlin, they have Owen Power, they have Bowen Byram. They're trying to get rid of Bowen Byram. Why are they getting Michael Kesselring? Because Dahlin shoots left, Power shoots left, Byram shoots left. I almost forgot. Kesselring shoots right, something that the Buffalo Sabres badly need on the back end. You can put him with Dahlin or you can put him with Power, and it'll give you some stability there on that back end, something that Buffalo badly needs. Because this past season, even though they got to replace the goals they're losing from JJ Peterka, the Sabres were 10th in goals league-wide. That's how bad they were at keeping the puck out of their net. Now, I will say, grain of salt, because teams as low down as the Buffalo Sabres play a lot of backup goalies. They play a lot of third stringers, honestly, and they play from behind a lot. The Sabres still have a bunch of holes to fill on their roster, just guys who are pending unrestricted free agents and a lot of restricted free agents, which is good for them, and they have $21 million almost to spend, and they're shipping Byram out. Well, who are they going to go get in free agency? Well, good points. They do generally have a tough time attracting free agents, but you don't just have to use the cap space on free agents. You can make trades. Remember the Bowen Byram stuff I was just saying? Yeah, there you go. The Sabres are taking from a strength, which is goals, and adding it to defense, which is something they badly need. They also get a little bigger and a little meaner in the process, which after the Tage Thompson comments on the Cam and Strick podcast a little while ago, They need. And I mean, look at the division you're in. Look at the Atlantic. You need it. Look at all the young players, the young prospects that you already have on the team, already have in the system, are developing. It is conceivable that the Sabres could find the goals that they're losing with Peterka elsewhere. What is harder to add to your team is what Michael Kesselring brings. It is hard to find 6'5" defensemen. It is hard to find defensemen who shoot right. It is hard to find 6'5" defensemen who shoot right. And it is really hard to find 6'5" defensemen who shoot right, who also score goals. I still think if you have a player who is as unreal as JJ Peterka already is, and he wants out, you don't move him. You find any solution to keep him. Because you cannot allow your young guys to be like, you know what, I don't like it here, trade me. You're never going to get out of the cycle of being the Buffalo Sabres. But this could be a calculated risk that works out for them. I think it's very simple with the Mammoth. Holy cow, they're going to be fine. They have the horses on D. They had a bunch of injuries last year, and hopefully they won't have that this year, and they're a little healthier, and Sean Dursey replaces some of those minutes, and you understand. They get better goal scoring, and they get young in the process, or stay young in the process. It's great for the Mammoth. It's easy to see why they did it. The Sabres, they might be stupid. They also might be stupid like a fox. So, what do you think of this trade? Leave a comment in the comment box down below. But for now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. You know, I'm not saying the media is always right, but your GM might be lying to you too.